So you guys, my life is kind of a mess right now and I forgot to moisturize before starting my makeup. But use a primer. I'm using the Primerizer by Smashbox and I already have the Cover FX drops in Celestial on the points of my face that I'd like to highlight. And I'm taking the L'Oreal Infallible, like the Total Cover Foundation. And it looks a lot rougher than I'm beating into my skin on camera, but I swear it's not. So I'm just putting that all over my face. It's a pretty full coverage and relatively matte foundation that I really have been enjoying lately. The only issue is it separates on my chin sometimes, which I'm not the biggest fan of, but it is what it is. Don't forget to buff down your neck. You don't want that line of demarcation. I find this foundation works best with a beauty blender because it's very thick, and if you use a brush, it is can be kind of streaky. Now we're going to use Tarte Shape Tape Concealer in also the lightest shade possible, and just conceal those under eyes. I don't understand how people can like use this concealer without, like with just a little bit, like they'll put like 2 dots under their eyes. I'm like, no, I need my stuff to be blended all the way into my skin and not just look like a line. Now we're taking the Coty Airspun powder with the beauty blender again and setting under my eyes. I've been liking to use a beauty blender a lot lately for setting powders and just powders in general, like highlighter. It seems to work a lot better than a brush. It gives a more smooth finish and my makeup lasts longer. It's kind of like baking but without as much product. You do use more powder than you would with a brush though, because it kind of stays on the sponge a little bit. But it doesn't let you put too much on either though. Now we're going to use the Kat Von D Shade and Light contour palette with the lightest shade and just use that to carve my cheeks a little bit. Give me a little bit of color back into the skin. And then the Too Faced Milk Chocolate Bronzer to kind of warm up my forehead, and you'll see in a little bit I'll be doing it down my cheeks. Usually I use the Too Faced the Sweethearts bronzer in Sweet Tea, but lately I've just noticed it's been a little bit harsh because I've been wearing a lighter foundation because I'm paler, so this is just kind of a light enough one where it gives me a little bit of warmth but not too much. Now the Milani blush in Luminoso. Sorry, I keep kicking the camera and having to fix it. But this one just gives you a little bit of warmth and a little bit of life to your face because it does have kind of a sheen to it, but not too much. It just makes you look more alive and less flat. Now the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Palette. Putting it a little bit on my cheeks just to make me look less dry because I've been very dry lately. Yep. If you hear stuff in the back, I'm at school recording this, and I'm in a relatively quiet space, but not as much. Now I'm using the Huda Beauty Obsessions palette, the lightest brown shade in the palette, for my crease. Just buff that in oh so lightly. You can use any light brown shade. Now we're going in with a slightly warmer shade in the palette. It's the light orangey color that I believe is in the middle of the top. I'm not 100% sure and I don't have it in front of me, but it's a light orangey shade just to kind of warm up the look. And just buffing, unbuffing. And then we're going to take the reddish shade and put that in the outer V with a more precise brush. Just kind of work it in there and going back and forth, just building up that color slowly because you don't want super harsh lines, and if you pack on too much at once it will be rather harsh and you can't blend it into the creases easily. Now I'm taking the Makeup Forever Starlit powder in the lightest shade that's not yellow. I believe it's number 13, and putting that all over my inner portion of my lid. It's just gonna brighten the look, and I keep going in with this because it's not showing up as pigmented as I want it to, and I believe I used a little bit of like Fix Plus or something with this to kind of help it gets so luminous. As you can see, it's like slowly building up but not blending as nicely as I want it to. So I just decided to go in with my finger and pack it on and then blend it out better. It seems to help that way instead of using the small brush that I was using to get in the inner corner. Just keep layering. And speaking of inner corner, we're just going to pop a little bit in there to brighten your eye when it's open. It'll just make you look more awake. Now blending in that color to the crease a little bit so it's even and not crazy. And taking the Sephora crease brush and buffing it in so that way it's nice and blended with the orange shade that we had before and the brown. Now I'm taking the purpley shade in the palette and kind of using that to darken the outer V in the crease. It's not coming out as purple, which is exactly the idea. It's just there to deepen. And again, going back in with the Starlit powder to layer on even more luminosity and just blend it all out, as you can see. Now we're going to work on the under eye, and I'm using that same reddish shade that I used on the top and just putting that underneath in the outer corner, and then going in with a little bit of the orange to kind of blend it out and buff it so that way it's not as harsh, followed by the Starlit powder on the inner third of the eye to brighten and balance with the top. Now I'm taking a little bit of the, I believe it's the Ambient Lighting palette, and putting it on my brow bone just to kind of brighten that as well, followed by the Brow Gal's brow palette. I'm using the first two shades and mixing them. One's really cool and one's warmer, but I like to mix them and get my perfect brow color because it's really hard for me to find it with the color that my hair is being a little bit reddish. Like it has red in it, but it's still like not quite like caramel. I've been having a lot of brow problems lately, but slowly we are getting there. The more I practice, of course. There we go. Now I'm taking the Tarte, I can't remember what it's called. It's like the Tartist eyeliner, but it's the gel one. And I'm using that as my liner today. I was trying to try it out. I think I like it for the most part. If I remember correctly, it can run a little bit, but like as the day goes on. But otherwise it's very black, and I would love to find an eyeliner like this one that isn't like stuck on my eye at the end of the day, but still stays and doesn't like run underneath or transfer as much. It was also, I found, difficult to make a nice and smooth application. As you can see, it's kind of chalky over there, and you can see a little bit later on the eye that I'm not working on right now, it isn't even, and you can see like a gap by my lashes. See, I'm not liking it. I made it too uneven and too long, so I'm going in and cleaning it up with some little tiny bit of makeup remover on a Q-tip. Just a smidge to kind of even it out again, and then buffing it to kind of blend the colors again. Now I'm taking the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara and popping that on really fast, followed by the Urban Decay Perversion. This is the combination that I use often. I like them both together, and you can see it really does help my lashes, but you can see that gap from the line of eyeliner to my lashes, which is a little bit annoying now that I'm editing, but hey, it is what it is. And bottom lashes, I only use the Better Than Sex, I believe. And lastly, we are taking the ColourPop Lippy Stick in Button, I believe is the shade, and it wouldn't be one of my videos if I didn't put my lipstick on out of camera. But hey, I noticed it and brought it back up. I think this lippy complements the eyes well because it's not like straight orange. It has a little bit of pink in it, but it is a more like corally color. And it's comfortable. And of course you can always take the Smashbox Instamat and put it on top. Now we're just going to set with the Kat Von D Lock-It setting powder, and then we will be done. That will be the look. So let me know what you guys think of this. I really enjoyed this video actually. I feel like I do a lot of looks like this and I want to kind of venture out, but this is what we've got right now. So let me know what you think, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, because as soon as I hit 100, Landon's going to let me do his makeup, and you know I'm almost there. Alright, I'll see you guys. Bye!